Minnesota Vikings and the Carolina Panthers. Boys, this is sitting now 4.5 in favor of the Vikings on the road. 46.5 is your total. Adam, we'll kick things off with you. I'll go ahead and let you know I'm in on the Vikings this week. I'll give my reasons in a bit. I'm curious as to your thoughts on this one.
This is the second strongest feeling I have this week is on the Minnesota Vikings. I wish I could have gotten this on Sunday at 2.5. It is now out to 4. And being that it is out to 4, I would feel quite comfortable making this an alt and pushing it out to 6.5, probably 6.5 on Minnesota because, again, much the same as Jacksonville, I think we've now reached the point where I don't love where the market is valuing Minnesota when let's look at the things that went wrong here for the Vikings. They lose at home by 3 to the Buccaneers in a game in which all the turnovers went against them.
Yeah.
They then
outgained them by 137 yards or something in that game too. Yeah.
Right. And then we see them lose to an Eagles team on a short week in which we knew that the Eagles were going to outclass them. They were never completely out of that game. And also, again, the turnovers went against them. And last week, by any measure, they should have won that game against the Chargers. I mean, if there's any team that can out-Chargers the Chargers, it's the Vikings, and the Vikings managed to out-Chargers the Chargers. And so you see a game in which they added to what is a league-leading turnover differential of -7. Everything has gone against them that went for them last year. This is exactly what happened to make them 11-0 in the opposite last year. And in those games now, they're 0-2. And when you look at this Carolina defense and you see the injuries and how beaten up they are, especially in key areas like having a starting safety out of the game, this to me feels like a game where Minnesota can truly eat. Now, alt up to 6.5. If you don't like the price, if you don't want to deal with the spread, the Minnesota team total right now is 25.5. Guys, against a Chargers defense that is comparable to what we're going to get out of Carolina this week, they put up 24, easily should have put up more than that. This team should be regularly producing 27, 30, 33, 34 points. So I like Minnesota in a lot of different ways this week. A lot of people were talking about the Bryce Young versus Andy Dalton situation and whether that is an upgrade, downgrade, whatever. Well, the market doesn't believe it's much of anything, right? The market doesn't believe that Bryce Young coming back means a whole lot to the Carolina Panthers. Their receivers can't separate. There's a whole lot of things where I look at this Minnesota defense, as bad as it is, and say, I think Carolina might be one of the least equipped teams in the league to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I am actually pretty happy that Bryce Young is back. And listen, I'm actually a Bryce Young believer. I think he's going to be fine in the league, but it does look like this adjustment period's a little bit, by the way, it's just, this is the caveat that I like to bring up, and I'll probably bring it up 3 or 4 more different times. It's like Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert ruined us in our opinions of what rookie quarterbacks should be able to do in their rookie season. And it's like, we just assume everyone's going to step in and look like Hall of Famers. And it's like, that's just not the case with rookie quarterbacks more times than not. Like it's so recent that Burrow and Herbert just destroyed the league as rookies. And we just think that that's the way it's supposed to go. And that is not the way that it's supposed to go. And I think he'll eventually get there, but it's not going to be anytime soon. If you look, Adam, you mentioned it's the 7. Yeah, it's -7 in the turnover differential, but the fact that they've lost 7 fumbles, it's like so absurd, right? It's like, it's not Kirk Cousins throwing picks all over the place. It's literally like fumbles and then they're not falling on the fumbles. Like it's just incredibly, incredibly unlucky. There's regression and then there's whatever in the hell is happening to the Vikings right now through all this. The offense is good. It's 5th overall by Pro Football Focus. It's 9th in success rate. It's 13th in EPA per play. It's not the offense that's the problem at all. It's the turnovers and where the turnovers are happening, because there are 6 of them are in the red zone. Like that's handing away points like that. Not saying that you're necessarily going to score a touchdown, but you're likely to kick a field goal. So those are just points off the board in the game for this team. And so I don't love the way they play defense. They're blitzed 66% of all downs so far this year, which is the most in the league by 25%. Like the next closest team is 25% lower.
And how often are they getting home, Matt?
Yeah, 28% pressure rate. That's not good. It's 23rd in the league.
And to the point Matt just made about the success rate and EPA on offense, look at the drop back success rate and drop back EPA, and you will see that the Vikings are top 12 team in drop back EPA outside of garbage time. I should say drop back success rate. The EPA does not follow because they've been hurt so badly by the turnovers, right?
Yeah.
Like that's where you look and see, okay, I can make a case to say this offense really is elite once they get these turnovers, which have been fluky, out.
Yeah, and to your point, Steven, yeah, I mean, they're only getting a 28% pressure rate. That's 23rd in the league despite blitzing 66% of the time. It's only gotten them 6 sacks on the season as well. So, again, Flores is going to play how Flores plays. He's not going to change it. So, it is what it is. You just kind of know what you're getting into whenever you get into a Vikings game. But against Bryce Young, against this offense, all the stuff that Adam said about these look, these receivers just can't, they're just not any good, right? They're just not a lot of talent out there. And so, the one thing you and I, Steven, we were doing the previews before the season, we were like, hey, look, the one thing we can at least count on is the Panthers having a good defense. They've actually not been good this year. They've actually been pretty trash. If you look at all the advanced stats, they're bottom 10, 12 in every single one of them. So this is where the Vikings get on the board. This is where they can even afford one of these fluky turnovers and still win the game as opposed to end up finding a way to lose it. Like them a lot. I happen to be on the air on Sundays as these lines are hitting. And so I've been getting a lot of early lines recently. I mean, I got it at 3, but in context for people coming in today, I would still bet it at 4. I would still bet it at 4. So it doesn't matter to me that I have it at 3. If I had no bet, I would still bet it at 4. I just think that the Vikings at this point are exponentially better on the offensive side of the ball than the Panthers. And on the defensive side, it might be a coin toss. It might be a push because this Panthers D has not shown up this year.
And for those that might be interested in getting the best of the number here, because they do move quickly early in the week, our Discord members at thelines.com did get -2.5 at the start of this week. And go to thelines.com homepage, top right-hand corner, hit the Discord button, and you can be one of those members that got amazing closing line value on this game. I'm going to be watching this game closely for Bryce Young because with that blitz rate for Minnesota, I want to see if he takes a step and learns here, because with how little pressure they're getting off of that blitz rate, guys are running one-on-one or wide open on the back end of that quite often. Mm-hmm. But Bryce Young is second to only Zach Wilson in how long he's held the ball on each drop back this year. That's not going to work against the blitz rate as high as this week. So let's see if he learns from that. Let's see if he gets the ball out more quickly this week in very beatable situations when that blitz rate is not getting home as much as it is. But yeah, get in that Discord and get the best of the number moving forward, everybody.